Hi, this is Matt Donegan from Business Spotlight. I'm here with Andrew. Andrew, could you tell me who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for, please?
Okay, name's Andrew Robinson. I run a company called Paradigm Recruitment. We've been established since 1993, so we're in our 30th year of trading. Prior to that, I had 6 years in recruitment experience, and then before that, I had 5 years in retail experience with John Lewis Partnership.
Okay, and what made you start the business then?
I got made redundant over Christmas from my last employer. We had a disagreement on how the business should be run. They went out of business the following September, and we've been going 30 years since. We specialize in doing networking, cybersecurity, cloud positions, both technical and sales and marketing globally. So we have assignments currently in Sydney, Asia Pac, Middle East, Europe, and North America in East and West Coast.
Wow. Okay. So first thing to say is, sounds like you made the right call because the
Yep.
didn't do so well. And secondly, it sounds like you guys are flying. So what makes you stand out in your sector? What's your
I think some of our USP is our knowledge of the marketplace globally, our understanding of the nuances of recruiting in different countries, the cultures, differences, and that sort of stuff. And I suppose our track record of success helping organizations who are pre-IPO, so we predominantly work with pre-IPO startups who are funded by venture capital companies. Some of the more well-known names would be people like Zscaler, Palo Alto, Juniper Networks, that have gone from seed funding right the way through to a successful IPO on the NASDAQ in America, and now are turning over $8, $9, $10 billion a year.
Wow. Okay. How many placements do you put into these posts?
In the early days when it's builder, I would say we can do anything with an organization from 10 to 20 at the low end to 40 to 50 at the high end over a year. Anything from a VP of global sales, or CRO as people call them in America now, to a head of sales in Europe, to head of sales in Asia Pac, to VP of marketing or CMO, right the way down to in-country sales heads, pre-sales heads, professional services, customer success, etc.
So a lot of big hitters then you're putting in post.
There can be some big hitters, and then generally behind the big hitters, then you do the backfill with the teams in region and so on, and that's where the hard work comes in, because then, while you're looking for one VP or one chief marketing officer or what have you, if they then need a team of 14 or 20, or as in the case with a recent client, Deep Instinct, they wanted to expand their European operation by 40 heads in 12 months.
Okay.
So we had a lot of work to do over that period of time. And on the success we had in Europe, they invited us then to help them out in North America, where they were behind the curve. And out of 30 vacant roles that they had in North America, I think we placed 40% of them as an organization from Europe. And they had 3 or 4 US recruiters working on them previously. So,
okay, that's very impressive. Are you finding there's a difficulty with talent?
The talent pool hasn't really changed. While there are redundancies going on in the marketplace worldwide, and it's highly, touted out there over the press that, this company, Amazon's laid off this many, or Google's laid off that many. When you're looking at certain areas where we operate in, which is quite niche, there's still a skill shortage. There is, they reckon there's something like 1.5 million vacancies in cybersecurity globally.
Yeah.
So anyone who's looking to get into a market where they've got a good career ahead of them, cybersecurity or artificial intelligence is certainly one of those sectors I'd be directing people to.
Yeah, I mean, I think the challenge that when we speak to particularly SaaS companies, the challenge finding top tier talent.
Yeah.
What have you got any tips for finding, apart from working with you guys?
I think a lot of the issues with organizations when they get really big is they go down a talent acquisition model. So they have their own team of internal recruiters internally, and where off budget, or our budget comes out of their spend, is on one side of a spreadsheet, and the TA teams on another side of the spreadsheet, and therefore they go, oh, we can't use external recruiters. And I think in a marketplace which is so competitive, you have to have a multifaceted approach towards how you attract your talent. That can be advertising, that can be internal recruiters, it could be external recruiters, referral programs. You know, some companies don't use them extensively as they should do and reward the individuals for referring people through. We've managed a number of RPOs for organizations over the years where we are essentially the HR operation on site doing their recruitment for them. And we've actively encouraged them to have a referral program put in place where the individuals are rewarded, because effectively you're bringing in a talent that's a known entity to the organization as opposed to someone with no track record.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what does the business journey look like for you? How was it?
Right. Well, we started the year looking really optimistic. SVB, Signature and Credit Suisse went boom. That had a massive impact on our work in progress, which is basically the total value of vacancies that we work on. Typically through COVID, we were looking at anywhere between 800 and 1.2 million of total value of work that we have on our book at any one time. Obviously, other companies make placements, internal recruiters make placements. So that's always a fluctuating model, but typically it's between 800 and 1.2 million. When those three companies went bankrupt in March of this year, we saw 80% of our workflow disappear. Wow. Yes. So it's a bit like the dot-com crash, a bit like the financial crash in 2008. You sort of sat there and went, oh my God, Armageddon's just arrived again. How do we get out of it? And basically from March to August, it was pretty much hand to mouth, working on the roles that we did and making them successful. September the 1st came along, and it was as if someone had turned around to the whole of the startup and entity in the marketplace and said, right, we need to start hiring again. Our book value is just shy of 800,000 now. So to give you an idea, I mean, that's what, 7 weeks, and we're or 8 weeks where we're at, and it's incredible. You know, we could in Q4 claw back what we lost or didn't make in Q2 and Q3 of this year. So we could finish the year where we should finish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very volatile market. I don't think anybody appreciates how volatile that.
You get nothing for second in our game. You only get paid if the individual crosses the line, and then don't go and spend anything until they've done their probation period, because yeah.
So what does the future look like now? Because there's a lot of talk about AI, obviously, in the marketplace. There's financial volatility in the marketplace. What are your predictions?
I think 2024 will be a year where we come out the market stronger. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. It's going to take all of 2024. We're working with 5 or 6 portfolio clients who were ready to IPO at the end of 2022 and didn't, because the market's too volatile and they won't get the return they think they should get for the valuation of the company. And if I'm putting my hand on my heart, I don't think they will do it in certainly Q1 or Q2 next year. However, if the indices and the revenues and everything else are going in the right direction, then you might see a rush of IPOs come into the market in Q3 and Q4.
And that's the bigger trigger for you then, is it?
For us, yeah. I mean, we work with seed-funded startups who have initial funding to get them off the ground, right the way through to those who've just raised, 100 million in the Series B or Series C round funding. But what we typically are looking for are companies who can fast track to 100 million AAR, which is annual reoccurring revenue. And once they hit that figure, they're already almost at a point where they're cash flow positive and then can go for a successful IPO.
Right. Okay. So what's the main challenges in your business then? So we've talked about those businesses. What are the challenges for you?
As a business, I suppose I have no personal desire to grow in headcount. So we're small, we're boutique, we're niche. So it's utilizing the hours that we have in the business to be the most profitable that they are. But if some of our clients are telling us what they are indicating they're going to do in 2024, we might have to reconsider hiring 1 or 2 individuals to be able to deliver the same service as we are today, if they're going to grow at the rate they're going to grow.
Okay. So you're not actually targeting yourself, you're not really targeting massive growth goals, but
No.
growth may just have to happen.
Growth may just have to happen. I mean, I suppose after 30 years, I've been quite frugal with investments and stuff like that. I have a love for the job. It's not about now so much doing the job to pay the mortgage and stuff like that. The mortgage is almost covered on a monthly basis, so it's really about making sure we provide a great service to the organisations we work with.
Okay. So what's as the business owner, what's been your biggest learning over the last few years?
Ooh. You can put all the scenario plannings in place that you like. We took an office on in St Albans. We were 28 staff. We were doing about 4.5 million turnover, and we could see the following year that the market was going to sustain that and more again. So we took on an extra 9,000 square foot. We went to 48 staff. We finished that fiscal year at 7.2 million turnover, making 1.25 million profit. The .com happened in 2002. Sorry, 2002. Our biggest client, Nortel, went from 10,000 vacancies to laying off 10,000 people. That's a swing of 20,000, followed by about 5 other key customers over the period of 3 months. So we went from a 7.2 million turnover to a 3.8 million turnover and a 585k loss in 12 months. So if you didn't have £1 million in the cat bank, because I'm frugal, I've always saved, we wouldn't have rode out the .com crash the way we did.
Yeah. Was that your most painful moment then?
Yeah, I would say from a business owner's perspective, growth is painful. Dealing with growth as it happens in the business, because when you set off with an idea to set up your own business, it's basically you with an idea and it's you doing the job that you love, and it's trying to get that message and that culture across of passion and what you do for the job into others. Yeah. But when you've got to sit down with an organisation of 48 staff and lay 50% of them off, and that's affecting people's lives and stuff like that, that is my partner at the time. She worked in the city in talent acquisition in-house, and they would only let their managers do 4 of those dismissal type interviews. We had to sit down with the whole organisation on the Monday, do the matrix, and on the Friday let those go. So we were letting go through the matrix.
Oh, okay.
That was a tough week.
Yeah. So
but it's a learning curve.
So if you met your 18-year-old self, what
would I say now if I was 18 again? If you want to make something of your life, do it yourself, because working for someone else, you're making them rich, not yourself. But have a clear vision and a clear goal on what you want to achieve and how you want to achieve it, and make sure you deliver above the expectations of the customer.
Really good advice. Everything you said there. So what plans have you got that you'd like to share?
I mean, for us, we like working with niche, technology-driven portfolio clients who are disruptive in a particular sector. Yeah. And for us, what we're trying to do is continually look for those organizations to work with. Obviously, they get to a point where they become a bigger corporation. They bring in people from bigger organizations and then processes. And what we find is over time, we're eased out of the organization, not purely on a cost basis. And I get that. It's the evolution of an organization. So we're constantly doing new business. We don't stop doing new business. We don't have a choice.
Okay, so that's your plans. Just new business. Keep on doing new business.
Keep on doing what we do. Someone said to me, "Oh, I'm going to get into recruitment. You've done all right." And I turn around to them: if you can sell second-hand double glazing door to door, and you enjoy that much rejection, get into recruitment. And if you're successful, you're really successful. If you don't, then don't do it, because that's what recruitment can be like.
Right. Okay. Yes, I can see that, and it sounds like you have a lot of people going through the business, and you're putting a lot of people in the business. So you
Yeah.
have so many different lives, right?
Well, there's so many people we've influenced. I mean, there was one guy who replaced as the VP of Europe for Zscaler. He got a substantial amount of equity with the company. Needless to say, his strike price on the shares were about 50 cents. And that company's stock value went up to $387 a share.
Wow.
He became a multimillionaire overnight.
Wow.
So that's the impact we can have on people when we place them in some of the startups that we work with.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I think everybody would like that return. Right?
So would I. I never get invited to the share offering, but there we go. That's life.
You might want to buy in some at some stage.
Mate, I keep on asking friends and family and all that, but it never works.
So listen, thanks for your time. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you. We wish you continued success with your business, and we'd love to hear more from you in the future. So
lovely. Keep in touch. Thank you for your time.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.